Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into a little one-off video I wanted to do for college basketball opening day/night. There's going to be a lot of games going on tomorrow. It's a big extravaganza. A lot of really bad basketball going to be played tomorrow because, I mean, half of these games, it's like one team's 25-point favorites. We've got non-Division I teams facing Division I teams. I actually did a video last year on the craziest college basketball scores of opening night or opening day, because there'll be scores where it's like 130 to 70. These are just 20 bets. I thought this would just be a funny thing to do. I would not take this seriously at all. It's just something to kick off college basketball season. But we are going to begin with South Dakota State, basically in a pick'em game versus Akron. South Dakota State, this year, they might win their conference, especially with Oral Roberts losing, their star player to the portal. So I think they win this game against a decent Akron team. Akron's a lot better in basketball than they are in football. But, you're at home. It's a pick'em game. There's value. I've seen simulations that have South Dakota State winning this game by around 5 or 6 points, so I will take them there. Maybe if that AirPod thing can go away. Is that thing going to go? I don't know if that's going to go away. Oregon minus the 4.5 versus Georgia. Georgia is just really bad when it comes to college basketball. Oregon, they had that little run with Dylan Brooks. After that, they've kind of been off, but I will take them. Believe this is a neutral site game, minus the 4.5. They're probably going to win this game by 10. Georgia, they go like 9-23 every year, so I think there's good value on Oregon. Dayton minus the 14.5 versus SIUE. So this is just value on Dayton, to where I think Dayton's probably going to win this game by 20 plus. There's going to be a lot of bets like this where, you'll get a bigger team favored by like 14 to 20 points, and I'll go in on them because I just think they're going to blow out a horrible mid-major. Duquesne minus the 8.5 versus Cleveland State. So I've seen simulations that have them winning by 15 to 16. They're at home against a bad Cleveland State team. Cleveland State hasn't been good for a while. Moving on to number 5, Sanford at Purdue. Here's an over-under. I'm taking the over 143. Purdue, possibly a top 5 team, returning Zach Edey. It's his 17th year now. And Purdue always scores a bunch of points. They'll probably score like 92 or 93. We will easily get an over. Even if it's like 91 to 55, you get an easy. Actually, I do think that is over, yeah. St. Thomas of Minnesota, plus the 9.5 at Cal. Cal is horrific. Didn't Cal win 3 games last year or something? I could see St. Thomas of Minnesota winning this game in an upset outright. I'll take them plus the 9.5. Ohio State minus the 19.5 versus Oakland. Oakland University actually is in Michigan. You would think Oakland would be in California. They'd be making the trip. But no, that's a college in Michigan. I will take Ohio State to cover the 19.5. Ohio State's basketball program, they're not very good, but they did reload. They still do have Bryce Thornton, the solid young point guard. I think they end up covering, winning this game by around 25. Bowling Green minus the 8.5 versus Chicago State. This is great value. Chicago State is notoriously one of the worst Division I teams every single year. Bowling Green actually has a decent college basketball program. I will take them minus the 8.5. Princeton at Rutgers, the under 137.5. Rutgers always plays low-scoring games at home. Rutgers is actually recruiting really well. This year, they're going to be more of a gritty team. They're going to keep games lower scoring. And then Princeton, just in general, a lot of those Ivy League teams, they like playing lower scoring games. This game's got I'd say like 62 to 48 or something like that. It's going to be very low scoring. Rutgers is only 6.5 point favorite, so I could see something like, 57 to 50, very, very under the 137.5. Colgate minus the 6.5 versus Brown University. I've got a sweet spot for Colgate. They always seem like they're the favorite to win their league. What is it, the Patriot League? I like them to cover the 6.5. The analytics say they're going to win by 12 or 13. But we will move on to number 11, Arkansas minus the 23.5 versus Alcorn State. So this is one of those, you just know Alcorn State is horrifically bad, and Arkansas can win this game like 105 to 60. Like, they can win this game by 40 points. So if you're giving me 23.5, I'm going to have to take that value. Arkansas, they've been a decent college basketball program. They can make the tournament. Moving on to Morehead State at Bama, the over 144.5. This is based off of two different things. Number one, Morehead State, not horrific. They're projected to win their league, possibly be a 16 seed in the NCAA tournament. And then Alabama, they always shoot a bunch of threes. We like the over. Bama's probably going to score around 80 to 85 points. Morehead State should put up enough to get the over 144.5, although it is kind of a bigger number. Texas A&M minus 21.5 versus Texas A&M Commerce, the altcoin. Yeah, go look at Texas A&M Commerce's logo. It looks like an altcoin, but A&M, this is a nice rivalry here. Texas A&M should win this game, and then Texas A&M has a huge non-conference game with Ohio State. I believe that game's in Columbus. But yeah, A&M coming into this game ranked, they're ready to go, and they're at home. They're going to win this game by 35. This is another game like Arkansas, Alcorn State. I will take Green Bay plus the 33.5 at Iowa State. Iowa State is just not going to score enough, and this is actually disrespectful to Green Bay University. 33.5 is a bit ridiculous. We could see something like 69 to 49 or something like that, lower scoring. But Iowa State, they're not going to score 85 points to really be able to cover a 33.5 point spread. They're going to score lower. Michigan State, very high ranked, returning a lot, minus the 16.5 versus James Madison. 16.5, not too hard against the James Madison team. They're not terrible. They're not a complete pushover, but I see Michigan State really starting off the season strong at home, winning that game by 20 plus. Long Beach State, love Long Beach State this year, possibly as maybe a sleeper team, plus the 1.5 at Portland. Portland's not a very good team, although last year they had a few nice wins. I will take a Long Beach State to win that game outright. Late night game, Youngstown State plus the 4.5 at Louisiana. Youngstown State possibly going to win their conference. Really like Youngstown State. Marshall minus the 6 versus Queens. I remember when Queens became a thing last year, but Marshall, they should win this game by about 14 or 15. Minus the 6, that's just simply good value. Louisville minus the 11.5. I know everyone is going in on the Retrievers. Remember them, UMBC. They upset Virginia, the 16v1 game, and Louisville loses to a Division I team in their exhibition, but everyone's going to be going in on UMBC plus the 11.5. I'm doing the opposite. I think Louisville, believe it or not, the KFC Yum Center, it's going to be rocking. They will surprisingly cover in that game. And then Syracuse at home, 14.5 is just phenomenal value against really just a complete pushover, easy win New Hampshire team. They should win that game by 20 plus, although the Carrier Dome probably will be a deserted wasteland considering the massive attendance compared to the opponent there with New Hampshire. Either way, those are my top 20 opening night college basketball bets. Just something fun. You know, I wouldn't take this too serious. I'm probably going to go like 10 and 10 in these, but either way, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you're following me on X. Link to that's always in the description.